Welcome to this week's episode of No Cover Music Magazine here at American Guitar Boutique on 707 13th Street, Phoenix City, Alabama. Today we've got Mr. Ted McVay, which was brought to us by the Alabama Singer-Songwriters, Opelika Singer-Songwriters competition or coalition, or how do they call that? What is the name of the group?
There's not really a group.
Okay.
There's a series of Wednesday night once a month, Opelika Songwriters Night. And then there was the Opelika Songwriters Festival that was held on.
That's where you met Mr. Scott Singer.
Well, I've met him before, but yeah.
Okay. Well, Ted is a local singer-songwriter. You've been writing, you told me, for how many years now?
Well, since about 2012.
Okay.
I'm a late starter, and
but inspired.
Well, maybe. I hope so.
That's awesome. I always like to open up the show with a song, so we're going to get right to it. What's the first song that you want to do for us?
It's called Heartless in Texas. It's most of my songs are not autobiographical, and this was no exception. There are some names in here, place names and people names, which are true, but the story is totally made up.
Or so you say.
Yes.
All right.
If you ever come to Texas, won't you bring my heart to me? For I left it in Alabama in the summer of '63. It was down in Russell County on the Jersey Island farm, where the father of my darling threatened me with deadly harm. If you ever come to Texas, won't you bring my heart along? Though she didn't keep her promise, I am sure it's still beating strong. They say she lives in Phoenix City, where she has grandkids and a home. As for me, I never married, and I'm still a man alone. You see, if you ever marry, you have to give your heart away. I am heartless in the heart of Texas, and it looks like that's how I will end my days. If you ever come to Texas, won't you bring my heart with you? When you stop by Phoenix City, say hello to Betty Sue and to Ed and all their children. Give my greetings from the West, and then hurry on out here to Texas to fill this great big hole in my chest. If you ever come to Texas, won't you bring my heart to me?
Great sense of lyrics. I like that tune. That's really cool.
Well, thank you.
What brings you into songwriting? I'm assuming that you were a career man for years and years, and maybe have some time to explore your passions now, or?
Yeah, that's it. I decided to pick the guitar back up after many years of not playing, and it was right before I retired, and I was sitting around doing some chord progressions one day, and all of a sudden a song started popping in, and I ended up writing a song. And then I wrote another one and another one, and it just sort of happened like that. And then
What were you doing before you retired?
I was a Spanish professor at Auburn.
Okay. So doing a lot of reading and
Yeah,
that kind of thing?
a lot of reading.
Would you consider yourself a guitar player that writes songs and sings, or a songwriter that plays guitar and sings because you need to facilitate your songs, or how do you approach that?
I'm, I guess, a songwriter first, and singer maybe second, and guitar player maybe third. It's just to accompany.
Do you see yourself trying to take your songs to sell them, or to have other performers perform them, or do you really just want to stay hold of them and take them and play them around yourself, or kind of how do you vision that?
Well, I like to share my songs, and I like to communicate. I think I have some things to communicate, and I like for people to listen to those, but I would really like to be doing house concerts. My songs are better done in a more intimate setting. And I don't play at bars or anything like that, at clubs. I have done that a couple of times, but people go to clubs to have fun and be with their friends and drink and maybe eat. And if they do have music, it's background music, and it's songs that they already know and feel comfortable with. And so I don't know that it would work so well with mine.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I have noticed over the last really 15 years the popularity of house concerts around the nation. I am fortunate enough to have a great friend of mine he has a place called the Creek House, and he calls it the Creek House Concerts. And it's amazing the talent that he gets coming through there, from either really well-known songwriters from the past that no longer have a venue, or up-and-coming guys. But it's amazing how popular house concerts are these days. And really, you could really do a tour any more of them, because in Europe it was a real popular thing, but I think in the U.S. here it's starting to get more and more popular.
Yeah, there are people who only do that and make a living at it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, my friend that has Creek House Concerts, he's been doing it successfully for about 15 years, and it's a beautiful venue, and the stage in the place is actually named after my dad, which is awesome. And I'm ashamed to say that I haven't been there yet, but it is a wonderful thing, and I'm glad to hear that you're looking at that too, and that more people are talking about it, because I think the house concert thing has a lot of potential for up and coming singer-songwriters that are maybe getting overlooked by mainstream. Love the lyrical contents of your songs. What do you want to do for us next?
The next one is called Slow Motion Waltzing. When you start writing at an old age and you write love songs, you write love songs about old people. So.
All right.
Slow motion waltzing as if on air, you with your walker, I in my chair, you with your silver curls, I with no hair. Slow motion waltzing, aren't we a pair? One step per measure, one step in rest for two. I take such pleasure in waltzing with you. There's no need to hurry, we've no time to despair. Slow motion waltzing, aren't we a pair? I will raise my arm now, you pretend to twirl. I can close my eyes and see your skirt all in a whirl. You can close your eyes and see how I smartly bow. Oh, I wish our long gone friends could only see us now. One step per measure, one step then rest for two. I take such pleasure in waltzing with you. There's no need to hurry, we've no time to spare. Slow motion waltzing, aren't we a pair? Slow motion waltzing, aren't we a pair?
I like to ask people that I've had on my show, past guests, about what they might say to an up-and-coming young person as inspiration, but I'm going to go the opposite direction with you because you had such a late start. What advice might you give someone in your shoes that is looking at retirement and starting to follow their passions, and how to go about actually taking an initiative and doing what they want to do?
Well, I guess just do it. Just start writing, and don't try to make your song like somebody else's. You know, if you're copying somebody's style, then you're limiting your own creativity. Just let it rip, and don't worry about it because you are going to be copying somebody. Every song is based on songs that we've heard before, and so it's just, I don't know what other advice to do. Just get out there and do it. And there are people who do start late and they do very well.
Do you have a preference between performing live in front of people or in a recorded session?
Oh, I prefer to do it live. I can really relate more easily to the audience.
Yeah.
And I can sing to them.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's awesome. I want to hear some more music. What do you want to do for us next?
This one's called Danse Macabre. It's an upbeat song about death. And goes back to the medieval period when death was seen as the great equalizer. Everybody died, and so they had pictures of skeletons dancing with popes and kings and emperors and nuns and great ladies and serfs.
There you sit all in a stew, wondering what you can do to avoid your own demise. Will it come as a surprise? Will it catch you unawares? As you're climbing up the stairs, you can't know, and I won't tell, so you might as well relax. Come dance with us, stop all this fuss. We're just part of life, you see. There's little room for gloom and doom. Come dance with Mrs. D and me. Death is just the price you pay for living 30,000 days. Get fired up, get off your duff, and dance your life away. Will you bite the dust beneath a bus? Will war, famine get you? Will it be drugs or microbial bugs or a lion that wants to pet you? Will the answer be brain cancer? Will a viper help you pay the piper? You can't know, and I won't tell, so you might as well relax. Come dance with us, stop all this fuss. We're just part of life, you see. There's little room for gloom and doom. Come dance with Mrs. D and me. Death is just the price you pay for living 30,000 days. Get fired up, get off your duff, and dance your life away. You're in a precarious situation, on a bridge from nowhere to nowhere. It's It's all very plain and simple, except for unexpected complications. You've been sick, don't tell us you're on the mend. We'll get you in the end. You can't beat fate, so celebrate. We love to have you as our friend. You'd better live life while you can. What will become of the things you've planned? You can't walk, and I won't tell, so you might as well relax. Come dance with us, stop all this fuss. We're just part of life, you see. There's little room for gloom and doom. Come dance with Mrs. D and me. Death is just the price you pay for living 30,000 days. Get fired up, get off your duff, and dance your life away.
Are you a collector of instruments? Do you play more than just guitar?
No, just guitar. I played
And one guitar?
one. Well, I have another one. I have two more, but I don't do those unless I'm doing a show and I have a different tuning that I need to work with.
Yeah. Do you ever play nylon string or anything?
Not in public. I did for a while, but I actually bought a nylon string guitar when I got back into it because the steel strings were just killing my fingers, and I wanted to make progress, but I didn't want to die doing it.
Right. Blisters on your fingers?
Yeah.
That's cool. You're married?
Yes.
And what did your wife think of your newfound career path?
Well, she was puzzled at first. She thought that every song I wrote was about her or was about me, and whereas I just make up people and they sing their songs. And but she's been quite supportive.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And does she sing at all?
She does, and we want to work up a few songs together, but that hasn't happened yet.
Okay. Do you see ever wanting to perform with a group or an ensemble or?
Well, yeah, I've done that. Well, I did an album, and then we did a release party, and I had all the people that played on the album doing that. And then I sing sometimes with Rusty Taylor. He's a guy who lives in Hamilton.
Jazz singer.
Yeah, jazz
I know
singer. He
Rusty.
does wonderful harmonies, and sometimes we busk down on Broadway.
Oh, okay.
And he sang with me at the Opelika Songwriters Festival too.
Very, very cool. How was that experience?
Really good.
A lot of great talent in this area, isn't there?
Yeah. Amazing.
And you're part of the monthly group as well, or do you just do the?
Well, it depends. There are usually just 6 songwriters that take part in that.
Mm-hmm.
There's another thing that's been going on Thursday nights at the Irish Bread Pub in Opelika, where called Show Me Your Chords, and people get 30 minutes, and they have 6 people getting 30 minutes to do that. And that was like every Thursday night. But they've taken a break for the summer.
Oh, okay. So what is your no world tours looking forward to? Do you
No.
plan on doing any traveling, or you just want to play locally?
I would like to do some traveling, but you have to have a gig before you
Well,
do that.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, let's listen to another song. What else you got in your pocket?
Okay. This one's called Ball and Chain. And I joke about this one. I say this is my one autobiographical song, and I dedicate it to my wife.
Okay.
was a free man, not in love with you, I'd be nutty as a pecan, there's no telling what I'd do. I'd be running bulls in Spain, raising all sorts of cane. So I celebrate while others sing a sad refrain. I'm so happy that you're my ball and chain. You help me out with gravity, you keep me on the ground, shield me from depravity, so good that you're all around. I'm not drinking too much grain, I'm not snorting cocaine, so I celebrate while others sing a sad refrain. I'm so happy that you're my ball and chain. I'm so happy you're my ball and chain. You are my salvation, I haven't gone insane. You keep me from temptation, yeah, you hold a steady rein. My life's not headed down the drain, want to make it plain. Why I celebrate while others sing a sad refrain. I'm so happy that you're my ball and chain. Yeah, I'm so happy that you're my ball and chain. Oh, honey, I'm so happy that you're my ball and chain. Ooh.
So if anybody watching the show has an interest in either hiring you to perform for them or their party, or would like to buy some of your music, do you have a venue that they can go to find you, book you, talk to you about playing, maybe buy some of your CDs or anything?
I have a Facebook page.
Okay.
My CDs are available on CD Baby, and you can download from iTunes and Apple Music, and the songs are on Spotify.
Okay. What's the name of your Facebook page if somebody wants
It's
to try and
Ted
find?
McVay, singer-songwriter.
Okay.
I'm also constructing a webpage. It's tedmcvaymusic.com, but it's not up yet. It's still under
Okay.
construction.
But that will be available
Yes.
eventually, and if somebody wants to, loves what you're doing, maybe they have a concert house or do house concerts, and they're interested in having you, they can look you up there and
Yeah.
find you. And
Yeah.
awesome. So you know, we could probably talk forever, but everybody likes to hear the music, and I know you got one more ready for us. So what do you want to do?
Yeah, it's called Voices. This came about one night when I was still working, and it was bedtime, and I didn't want to go to bed because I knew I hadn't done my preparation for the next day, and I knew I was going to hear about it the minute I lay down. So it's basically about insomnia.
I got voices in my head when I'm lying in my bed late at night when I'm trying to go to sleep. Don't know who they supposed to be, but they sure as hell bother me late at night when I should be counting sheep. They don't scream, they just whisper all night long. If I start to dream, they holler, Mister. They won't leave me alone. Well, I work real hard all day just to keep those thoughts away. If I could work through the night, I think I would. Don't know where they coming from, but they're steady as a drum, always with me, telling me I ain't no good. They don't scream, they just whisper all night long. If I start to dream, they holler, Mister. They won't leave me alone. tried to make them stop, but my neighbors called the cops when they heard all the racket I was making. Don't know what I'm gonna do, that is why I'm telling you. I don't know how much longer I can take it. I got voices in my head when I'm lying in my bed late at night when I'm trying to go to sleep. Don't know who they supposed to be, but they sure as hell bother me late at night when I should be counting sheep. All night long, all night long, all night long, them voices won't leave me alone.
Well, Ted, I got to tell you, I really enjoyed your songs. I think you're an incredible writer. I enjoy music that invokes thought and humor and laughter, and a lot of people get real serious. I like the humor in your songs. I thought that was awesome. I appreciate you coming on the show, and I hope people can come out and hear your music and you maybe get a little action and reaction from it all. If you ever get up north, you get a hold of me, and I'll get you in touch with my good friend Glenn Elvig, who runs the Creek House concerts up there, and he's got a beautiful place, and he does this all the time. So if you're ever going to make a loop, make sure and get a hold of us. But I really appreciate you coming on the show.
And I really appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Absolutely, absolutely. The idea here is that we, without local talent, we wouldn't have a show. So it's really you that makes the show, and we appreciate it. No Cover Music Magazine. Make sure and check us out next week for the next episode. But right now, give it up for Mr. Ted McVay. And look him up, check him out, and buy his music.